Greetings, Earth family. How are you? Hello. We're in the countdown. Days up until alien contact. So, are you prepared for it? Is what I want to know. There were hearings. There was a hearing today about the drones, where the government says they don't know anything, and then some official people say they've seen the drones and stuff. So, I'm curious what you guys think they are. Some people say it's definitely the U.S. government, and they're sniffing radiation or something around that area, and that military service members have left the area inexplicably. There are stories of maybe they go underwater. Not sure though. The way this guy said it, I don't think it said they go underwater. Oh, and I did find somebody who said they did have propellers on them. So they have propellers, then they're human. So I gotta think. I don't have a theory. Have to be the Chinese, right? I mean, but why would they keep doing it after we're aware of it and everything? It's not secret at this point. Whoever it is, why do they keep doing it? And why are they going more places? Apparently, they showed up in Brooklyn too. So what's up with that? Oh, also, aliens might have started fires with their space lasers in Malibu. There's big fires in Malibu today. The highway is closed. The Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway. And people are like locked in Pepperdine University, which is right there close to the beach, with flames all around and stuff. So we got stuff happening in this world. Does it feel to you like things are accelerating? But does it feel that way to you all the time? Or do you think there's something special about this time? That's what we're trying to find out here. We want to know, are we actually in a special time? Or does every human always think that? And this is just a time, a never-ending repetition of history over and over again. Sounds uplifting. So anyway, I have that. I have news from the hearing. I was going to suggest that the drones may be coming through portals, because I have video that kind of looked like a portal to me. So I'll show you that. You can decide. Healthcare CEO killed by Luigi Mangione. Many conspiracy theories abound. He was belligerent, being taken into the courthouse today. Started yelling and thrashing about. So I have that video for you. I also have the story I keep hearing is that people really like the killer for the most part. So I'm telling you, there will be t-shirts and stuff. I've seen people celebrating his mugshot and so forth. He is like a folk hero. He's going to be able to marry as many women as he wants in prison because people love the guy, I guess. And comedian Bill Burr made some commentary about it. So I guess it's like really people on the it's more people on the left. Because people on the right are like law and order, etc. You shouldn't kill somebody just because he kills people with healthcare decisions. No, he doesn't do that directly. But that's what people are saying. They're like, well, this guy's responsible for the death of thousands of people by denying them healthcare coverage. So why should we feel sorry for him? That's what people say. How do you feel? Have you been denied coverage by healthcare companies, insurance companies? There is some talk of it opening up a broader conversation about healthcare and health insurance. And perhaps it would lead to change. I mean, it just so happens that United Healthcare was the worst at denying claims, or the worst, or the best at denying claims, however you want to look at it. The worst at paying for stuff, with 32% of their claims being denied, where the industry average is something like 17% or something. So he did pick somebody who was the worst. Apparently he had some kind of back surgery. Alex Jones, he had some kind of bad back, which may be related, but who knows? He was super wealthy. Came from a wealthy family that owned a bunch of nursing homes and a few golf clubs or something. Went to prep school, which was really expensive, like the most elite prep school in the Baltimore area. Then he was the valedictorian of that prep school, which is really amazing. So he must be very smart. Then he went to UPenn, got a degree and a master's degree, apparently in 4 years, then had a job. He was doing pretty well. They say he disappeared 3 months ago. And up until then, he was posting on social media, normal trips and stuff with girls and stuff. And then apparently he disappeared, only to reemerge and pew the guy in front of the Hilton Hotel, Midtown Manhattan. So that's the official story. People are making memes. People are making videos. People are justifying his actions. So I'll show you that stuff. So let's see. I'm feeling you out to see what you want to hear first. So we're going to talk about drones. I have a few more clips from Mark Andreessen. He knows stuff. I think he invented I think he was the founder of Netscape in 1994 or something. Mark Andreessen. So he knows about, the government taking over AI. Yeah, that's important. So I have that clip. Then also how hate speech was developed. So I have that. Oh, Jay-Z was accused of raping a 13-year-old with Diddy. I don't know whether to believe it. They say it's blackmail, basically, or extortion. I think they might even have sued the attorneys representing this anonymous person. I can't remember what year they said it happened, 2006 or something. But anyway, I have an interview with a guy who said he was around Jay-Z when kids showed up to a party and he thought it was weird. So he's saying there might be some validity to it. I was thinking, I just don't know. I just don't know. I just think, when you've gotten that far and you're that famous, and you have that much money, and nobody's accused you before, it just seems, he's 55 or something. He's been around a while and super rich. And people sue people who are super rich for all kinds of stuff. But I don't know. Could be true. So I have a clip about it. I have a clip about that. I'm going to show you about the UFOs. I'm going to show you this other stuff. Okay. Are you ready? Did you come prepared? All right. Okay. Cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. what it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yeah, something like that every day, every weekday. So, what do I want to start with? We gave another $50 billion to Ukraine on the dying days of the Biden administration. I'll show you that. All right, Daniel Penny got off yesterday. People just like him. So I'll show you a little interview. This is the guy that restrained a criminal on the subway who was like threatening people and then got accused of killing him, put him in some kind of hold, and then he just got off. So white guy.
I mean, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't really extend myself. And I think this type of thing is very uncomfortable. All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable. And I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of attention or praise, and I still don't. Mm-hmm. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt or killed. I mean, I'm not a confrontational.
There you go. That's the guy. So that guy got off and people were talking about killing white people. So that's the world we live in currently. Will the world be different? Don't know. We gave $50 billion to Ukraine. That's crazy. It's it's a loan apparently, so I guess it didn't have to go through Congress. Where they pay it with the interest they make off the money they seized from Russia, which was an extraordinary thing in the first place, that they seized all this money from Russia. So it's a loan that Ukraine doesn't even have to repay. So it just gets repaid by assets that we have that are currently earning interest. But we're going to use the interest to pay off the loan to ourselves. Isn't that nice? It's a great way to get a loan. I mean, my goodness. Okay, great. I'll take the loan. Yeah. And you'll pay for it? Okay, cool. You'll make my monthly payments? Cool. Thanks for the loan. Wink.
The United States and G7 are now making good on that commitment. Together, we will leverage income earned from frozen Russian sovereign assets to provide a total of $50 billion of extraordinary revenue acceleration ERA loans to Ukraine. This will lend vital support to the people of Ukraine as they defend their country, and it also makes clear aggressors and tyrants will be responsible for the damage they cause. The United States.
That's Green John Pierre. How will the world change? Because Trump is probably not going to do that. So that's why they're pushing it all out, like right now. $50 billion. God damn, we're so rich. It's ridiculous. We have so much money in America. Be aware. We just throw it around like it's nothing. $50 billion to Ukraine. That's great. What are they going to do with that? And then I guess probably it'll be spent so to be fair, it's probably going to be spent mostly at military industrial complex in America. So the money's actually going to be spent in America. So then that's the money laundering aspect. It's like, oh, okay. We have this money we seized from Russia illegally, and we're making interest off of it. So let's just create $50 billion out of thin air and give it to our military contractors, mostly. And then give some of it to Ukraine so they can send it to their friends and they can buy G-Wagons. That sound like a good strategy? All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, the way it works. But maybe it doesn't matter because we're about to be at war with aliens, possibly. Maybe it all doesn't matter. Can you imagine tomorrow if the aliens start shooting or pew-pewing, as the people say on TikTok? Are we going to care about how much money we spent to Ukraine? Are we going to care about money? What's that going to do to our relationship with money? What do they use as money? What do you think aliens use as money? Dilatinum crystals or something? Got Star Trek. There's always some resource that you need. Like in sci-fi, even there's never like unlimited power. There's always some resource on some planet that's like some alien species is conquered and they run the mines there and they have like slave colonies and stuff digging dilithium crystals to run the warp drives. Otherwise, we couldn't go fast at the speed of light. It has to be finite. There have to be finite resources that people want. In our case, we have gold, which the aliens might be interested in. We have bitcoins, which the aliens are likely interested in. And we have like humans who can be farmed, probably. Like they reproduce. And you can just make more and more of them if you want. So we'd be a pretty good slave colony for some alien race. Well, maybe we are. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe we are. Maybe we're just energy balls trapped inside some kind of matrix-like thing that sucks our energy from us. Positive, negative, especially negative. Feeds off of us, like in the Matrix. Pyre Justin, Jews use shekels, not aliens. Or do you think do you think shekels, or do you think Jews are aliens? Is that what you're saying? I mean, some people say that. All right, here's some guy, mayor of a township in New Jersey, talking about drones, seeing the drones. Let's see.
Mayor, thank you, first of all, for your time. You've seen these drones. Before we talk about the theories on the source of them, kind of just describe what you've experienced.
Been hearing about them, but last Tuesday night, a resident in town, one of my neighbors on my block, said that there were 8 overhead over our elementary school and municipal complex, which are, on the same block. So I got in my car and I rode around here. And by the time I got around here, which is only about a half-mile ride, the drones had all moved east over the town of Dover, New Jersey, kind of in between us. There's a large county park, and they were everywhere. I have a video of it was 4 with a kind of a stationary drone. What it appeared to us was there was 1 drone that was just stationary, and 4 were going back and forth in a scanning pattern. I'm a little older, so I would look like Pong from back in the day, right? Back, forth, and they went over the town of Dover. I went down into Dover to see a better look, get some more pictures, and they moved east again. And that was my own personal observation. I have residents reporting, last night some residents reported that there were, over various times of the evening, they were watching, and there were 12 over our lake. And they can't get pictures because they come out really grainy and, they just look like little dots on cell phones. I'm hoping some folks with some really good equipment can get out there. I know there's a fellow in town who has infrared night equipment. He's going out tonight looking. He's going to try to see if he can get. But it's very disconcerting.
What do you think is going on, Mayor? What do you think this is?
Well, to be intentionally a little inflammatory, the state of New Jersey has been invaded by drones. The question and the problem and the nervousness is by who? Because they are everywhere. There are hundreds of these things. I have friends up and down the state. They're reporting down at the Jersey Shore, in southern counties, Cape May, all the way up into Sussex County, the length of the state. They're reporting that there are drones everywhere. Theories range from that it's a military exercise because President Trump flies in and out of New Jersey and has property here, to they're organized clubs who are just putting them up in the air. But the activity of the drones, the methodical scanning back and forth, it gives a lot of people pause because they're not really sure what that's about. There are people who say they're geo tracking or something. I forget what the word is. Scanning, almost like a Google Earth, but a night thing, but it's all crazy speculation in the fact that no one's provided answers.
Right. So we know that it's prompted some FBI investigations, or at least word of them. What do you think happens next, Mayor?
What I hope happens next is this is how I see it, and I'm not speaking for any of the other mayors that have been on the letters that have been presented. I'm just going to speak for myself. Either or, they either need to tell us or trusted people around us, like county sheriffs, who can reassure us that they know what it is and they are comfortable with what it is, and that we all know there are things that the government can't tell us for security reasons, or they need to go find out.
Right.
They need to, one of the phrases I've been using is they need to follow a drone home. These drones only have limited battery life, right?
Yeah.
Mayor, a military drone.
I apologize. We are out of time, but we know, there is a push right now to get some answers because a lot of people, certainly in that area, have a lot of questions. Mayor Sam.
That makes sense. Follow him home makes sense. Like, right when he said that, she was like, okay, we got to end the interview. Well, yeah, why don't they just follow him back to wherever they're going? They must go somewhere. It really is. It doesn't make sense. Like, why don't we know more? It's ridiculous. We have so much money and so many resources. We certainly could find out. We certainly could fly one of our own drones and just follow it, or at least get a close look at it. What are we, Stone Age? Are we dumb? Or is it just they're just lying and they know exactly what they are? It's an awful lot of stage show for them just to lying to us about them. Oh, New Jersey's got to declare a state of emergency. I heard that. Look at this. There's some close up of a drone. It has a shield around it. Check this out.
Check this thing out. Anytime I try to zoom in with my camera all the way up to the drone.
In the camera. Weird, right?
This is what I get. It has a round shield around it. Fucking nuts. Well, right? That's zoomed in. 100, 208. And I'll show you the drone right now. Up in the sky.
They're awfully sparkly, like planets. Power Justin says that's a star. Yeah, it looks an awful lot like a planet. It's very sparkly. Maybe it wasn't a drone, or it could be a satellite. Even that, it was weird. It had an energy field. Looked like. Focus. Thanks, Mr. Happy. Maybe it's just out of focus too. Do you want to see the portal? Oh yeah, this is a crazy drone. Do you want to see the portal? This is what I was gonna title my stream. Drones coming through portals. See what you think this is. This is apparently New Jersey in the sky. Look at that. That's what I was saying. It looks like a portal or like a wormhole or something. Like it's distorting time, like light and space. What do you think? Seems weird, but I don't know either. I'm just looking at videos on Twitter. People are like, "Oh, this is in New Jersey." I don't know where the hell it's from or when. Don't know anything. People could post whatever. No way to know. But this says drones by Mr. New Jersey. This one looks really big in this picture. And apparently they do have propeller. Look at that. That's a helicopter. Wow, I don't know. Looks kind of like a helicopter. Maybe that's not even a drone. But those are the videos people post. People are like, "Oh, drones," and maybe it's a helicopter. I don't know. Here's some that were they found them in Brooklyn too. And I'll play you the testimony from the hearing today.
Right, the woman who took those cell phone videos lives here along 3rd Avenue in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And she says she saw what she believed to be those drones over by the Verrazano Bridge. She posted those videos online, and now it's gotten the attention of Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis, who represents this area. And she is among those demanding answers as to what is going on. Diane Atkins says she first heard a roaring noise and then looked out her window in Bay Ridge to see these lights, several in the sky near the Verrazano Bridge. She believes they are all drones.
They started to change from like white lights. They started to get like more like reddish green blinking lights. There had to be in total 10, maybe 12 of these things. And some of them came closer. They went over my building. You could hear the whir of the motor. They seemed pretty large.
Any chance they could be planes?
Absolutely not. Definitely not planes. And there were too many of them. There's no way planes could fly that close together.
Atkins shared her video on X, and Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis reposted, demanding answers from the NYPD, FBI, and Department of Homeland Security. Over the weekend, drones were also spotted over Staten Island, and we've been telling you about numerous sightings over New Jersey, especially in Morris County. On Monday, Pix 11 News asked Governor Phil Murphy for answers about the drones.
We don't see any concern for public safety. That's number one. Number two, having said that, it's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing.
Last week, the FBI's Newark field office issued this statement to Pix 11 News. We understand the concern, and we are doing all we can to figure out what's going on. We truly don't have much information to provide at the moment.
I was on with the White House and Homeland Security leadership literally at the very top yesterday, pretty much all day. I'm hoping we'll get answers sooner than later. I would just ask folks to continue to let the FBI or their local law enforcement know when they see something.
What's going on in America? Why doesn't our government tell us what's going on in these skies? Is this the military doing active military things? Then let us know.
And the FBI says you can report those drone sightings by calling.
There you go. So anyway, Brooklyn, drones with whirring blades. Why don't we shoot? Why can't we shoot one down? We shot down the balloon pretty fast, relatively. This has been going on for like a month. It is. I mean, if I was in the government, I'd be like, what the hell? Like, how can we not have answers for people? Government officials have seen them for themselves. Can't they just like shoot a net over one of them or something? Then at least we can look at it, see what the hell it is. Might be technology we want. Someone in the chat said nuke sniffers. That's what some people are saying, is that they're nuke sniffers. There was some kind of dirty bomb. That's what some people are speculating. There's like some kind of dirty bomb, and they don't want to tell people. And they're like sniffing, however they do that, for radiation or something. I mean, it's really stupid, though. I mean, they got to be going somewhere. I mean, it's just absolutely astonishing that it makes us seem like really inept. Oops. So I'll show you from the hearing today. Here's what the FBI said. Doesn't know. Let's see.
What is going on in New Jersey?
So, sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey, including proximity to sensitive sites and areas of concern. So we do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more people that are responsible for those drone flights. But we're actively investigating. What the Bureau has done to aid our state and local partners is what we generally do, enlist the help of the interagency, enlist the help of the public. There's a tip line there, that 1-800-CALL FBI, tips.fbi, for information from the public that could help us resolve this. It is concerning.
Is the public at risk? Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that, but we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
There you go. He said we just don't know. What would you guys do if you were the government? So that was from the hearing today. Okay. All right, we're moving on. Yes, if you want to participate in the Super Chat Challenge, you can. Otherwise, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I want to thank Pirate for buying me a coffee yesterday, who said deny, defend, depose. It sounds like he's on the side of our shooter, I say. Mangione. Deny, defend, depose. All right, Pirate Justin. You want the government looking at your tweets? Be my guest. Okay, here we go. Here is a representative testifying about it based on reports from his area. Crystal Waters says, Nathan, are you going to talk about Jay-Z? Yes, I'm going to play you a clip. That's next. As soon as we move on from aliens.
So last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water. Follow it right behind them. Yeah. So last night I was on.
As they went through the water, some people are hearing that as if the aliens went through the water. I think it's they followed the boat that was going through the water. But yes, more testimony about it. We'll see. It must be close. I mean, there's got to be a resolution to it at some point. You would I mean, it can't just keep flying forever and we don't know. People will be outraged. People are beginning to get outraged at the government. So, and Biden's is just sleeping now. So he's not doing anything about the aliens or the drones. All right, here we go. Larry Johnson was on a podcast talking about Jay-Z. All right, so you asked if Crystal Waters, you asked if we would be talking about Jay-Z. Jay-Z is accused of raping a 13-year-old in a lawsuit with Diddy at some party or something. Jay-Z claims they're just blackmailing him. It's just extortion. So, but here's a story that might suggest there's something true about it.
When Jay was going after B was a very young woman. Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the wintertime of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to be like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking loud music and us dancing wild, like I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving children.
Larry, you've just blown my mind. And so I'm going to have to ask you to, I just want to be clear on what I just heard. In 2006 or 7,
yeah,
you're in Colorado at a winter party with Jay-Z and the people with Rock Nation. And
it was the people who helped out with the photo shoot. It was a winter campaign that we shot. Mm-hmm.
And it's at some very nice mansion somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah, up in the mountains somewhere.
And Beyonce is sitting relatively close to you, and there's a child there. And, and this is after 11 o'clock at night. And she says, doesn't this look sexy?
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, the singer.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes. Yes.
And the reason why I believe you, I'm not gonna put a name to this. The reason why I believe you is like they get you out there and they float little test bubbles out there to see if you bite. Mm-hmm. It's like going fishing. Does the bob? Did I get a nibble? Did the bobber go down? Because I've been in that situation. I'm not gonna name names, but it was a prominent sports media figure that I had a social gathering, at my apartment in downtown LA, Apex building, probably 20 people inside my apartment. And someone tried to engage me in a conversation about, can't you understand why older men find 14 and 15-year-old women attractive? And and I was like, no, I really can't. And then they followed back up, and I was like, and then I just walked away, and I made a mental note like, hey, this person is on some different shit, quite frankly. And just and I was like, and I kept, and it shocked me because I wasn't expecting this from this person, and it's always stuck with me. And you know, I would elaborate and give a few more details, but it would potentially give away the person if I gave any more details. But it was just like a test, and I can remember like, yeah, I just failed that test. And so whatever they got going on out here in LA, and they trying to figure out if they can get me in some kind of conversation about whether I was attracted to 14 and 15-year-old women, I just failed that test. So I don't think you're lying or exaggerating. I think that
there you go. That's enough of that clip. But you heard it. So it does sound a little like Vegan Mikey's stories, where Vegan Mikey said he was at parties and kids were there. And Macaulay Culkin was there and stuff. I mean, we don't know whether to believe them or not, but it sounds familiar. He was talking about being at fancy parties where there were kids. So I don't know what age he's talking about. And Beyonce said, doesn't this look sexy? Apparently. So yeah, that's the Jay-Z news I have for you today. I don't know what, you know, it could be extortion. So we'll see. With Diddy, you know, one person came out, like Cassie came out and sued him, and then everybody started suing him because he started paying him out because it was true. So here, we'll see. Jay-Z's people said the lawyers basically threatened him with extortion. So we'll find out. Okay. Fan video of Luigi Mangione. Somebody made this, I guess. Here. And he's like shirtless, Luigi. So yeah, people are making those kind of fan videos. I'm sure there's more too. Oh shit, I moved into the Mangione thing. Let's see. Here he is yelling as he's being escorted to his extradition hearing. They transcribed what he said. Let's see here. There you go. He said, "This is completely unjust and an insult to the intelligence of the American people. This is lived experience." So, and their lived experience. Hard to say. But that was him in court today. Then I think somebody made a fan video of that. Let me see why I say.
And you would end up with my hands behind my back in a police car, blue and red sirens all flash, 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 lights and cameras everywhere. Now I'm on the news with the DUI stare. Who cares? Just put me on the platform, turn the microphone on. There's no one I want to thank out there. Yeah. Hi, it's me. You're all in danger. Never getting pussy because I'm such a hater. Got my finger on the detonator. Crazy girl shit. Gonna go spring breakers.
There you go. So that's a fan video of Mangione. And then this is kind of a fan video of Mangione. Bill Burr, very sympathetic. They're going to get me for that music too. I played some TikTok with a Britney Spears song and they banned the video in one country. I didn't even bother to see what country it was. I don't think it was America. Okay, here, listen to this. Bill Burr. Let's see, is he justifying it? You decide.
You know what's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO is none of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they're at their most vulnerable, after we've all given them our money every fucking month, and now we finally need you, and all you do is deny us. And then these pussies and all of these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. You know, I got to be honest with you, okay? I love that that fucking CEOs are fucking afraid right now. You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy fucking pieces of shit, and a lot of you are mass murderers. You just don't pull the trigger. That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look, oh my God, oh, he was just, you know, walking into a hotel. It's like, okay, well, what was his job? What did he do? What was the results of it? You know what's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO?
I mean, basically saying that he kind of deserved it in a way, and that other CEOs should be afraid now. So that's pretty controversial, I think. But maybe not controversial on the left. Obviously not controversial enough for him not to say it. So that's the news about Luigi Mangione. All right. Now I have a oh yeah, I have more. Oh yeah, the Nancy Pelosi connection. Right, this guy shares it. The Nancy Pelosi connection is interesting.
Okay, I'm not exactly a conspiracy theorist kind of guy, but I couldn't really fucking leave this one alone. So there is a connection between Nancy Pelosi and Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. So hear me out. On September 21, 2024, there was a cyber breach at United Healthcare. Over 100 million data users were affected, healthcare workers and individuals. On that day, Nancy Pelosi purchased $4 million in a cybersecurity company called Palo Alto Networks. It is a specialist in cybersecurity. On the day of the announcement of the breach, she made that purchase. That company netted her $11.9 million. This was going to be up for investigation. Now, the person who was going to be investigated by the DOJ and was going to be potentially questioned about this cannot be questioned. Do with that as you will.
There you go. What's your TikTok conspiracy theories? But yeah, it is interesting. And then this guy, he was caught. People are saying, you know, he was caught with like the weapon, the motive, everything on him, all the evidence they needed. He was still carrying with him, including the motive in his manifesto. Yeah, it is a little weird, but who knows? Will there be more vigilantes out there? Will he inspire more? That's the question. That would be kind of scary. All right, here's how I have a few clips from Mark Andreessen. He was on with Barry Weiss. He was recently on with Joe Rogan too. It was pretty interesting. Here it is about how the government is going to take over AI completely as a weapon. So I'll play that for you.
We had meetings in DC in May where we talked to them about this, and the meetings were absolutely horrifying. And we came out basically deciding we had to endorse Trump.
Mark, add a little color to absolutely horrifying. What did you hear in those meetings?
They said, look, AI is one of these technology. AI is a technology basically that the government is going to completely control. This is not going to be a startup thing. They actually said flat out to us, don't do AI startups. Like don't fund AI startups. That's not something that we're going to allow to happen. They're not going to be allowed to exist. There's no point. They basically said AI is going to be a game of 2 or 3 big companies working closely with the government. And we're going to basically wrap them in a, I'm paraphrasing, but we're going to basically wrap them in a government cocoon. We're going to protect them from competition. We're going to control them, and we're going to dictate what they do. And then I said, well, yeah, I said, I don't understand how you're going to lock this down so much, because like the math for, AI is like out there and it's being taught everywhere. And, they literally said, well, during the Cold War, we classified entire areas of physics, and took them out of the research community, and like entire branches of physics basically went dark and didn't proceed. And that if we decide we need to, we're going to do the same thing to the math underneath AI.
Wow.
And I said, I've just learned two very important things. Because I wasn't aware of the former, and I wasn't aware that you were, even conceiving of doing it to the latter. And so they basically just said, yeah, we're going to take total control of the entire thing, and just don't.
And what was
start
their,
startups.
and Mark, what was Steel Managed for the listener? Like, what was their argument? Why
Well,
was
so this gets into this whole all these debates around like AI safety, AI policy. So there's sort of several dimensions on it, and I'll do my best to steel man it. So one is just like, to the extent that this stuff is relevant to the military, which it is. Like if you draw an analogy between AI and autonomous weapons being like the new thing that's going to determine who wins and loses wars, then you draw an analogy to in the Cold War, that was nuclear power, and that was the atomic bomb. And the federal government, the steel man would be the federal government didn't let startups go out and build atomic bombs. Right. You had, the Manhattan Project, and everything was classified. And, at least according to them, they classified down to the level of actual mathematics. They tightly controlled everything. And look, that determined a lot of the shape of the world. Right. And so there's that. And then look, there's the other, that's part one. And then look, I think part two is there's the social control aspect to it. Which is where the censorship stuff comes right back, which is the exact same dynamic we've had with social media censorship, and how it's basically been weaponized, and how the government became entwined with social media censorship, which is one of the real scandals of the last decade, and a real problem, like a real constitutional problem. That is happening at like hyperspeed in AI. And these are the same people who have been using social media censorship against their political enemies. These are the same people who have been doing debanking against their political enemies, and they basically, I think they want to use AI the same way. And then look, I think the third is, I think this generation of Democrats, the ones in the White House under Biden, they became very anti-capitalist, and they wanted to go back to much more of a centralized, controlled, planned economy. And you saw that in many aspects of their policy. But I think, quite frankly, they think that the idea that the private sector plays an important role is not high up on their priority list. And they think generally companies are bad, and capitalism is bad, and entrepreneurs are bad. And they've said that 1,000 different ways. And they demonize entrepreneurs as much as they can.
There you go. So that was from Barry and Andreessen talking about how the government's going to control AI, or they said they were going to. You guys know that Elon Musk has, which means Elon Musk has to work with the government. Obviously, he has to on rockets and stuff. It's national security, technology, and then he just built the world's biggest supercomputer, apparently, to train his AI, which apparently is going to be the most advanced AI when it launches, Grok 3 or something. So can they control Elon Musk, or have they said that Elon Musk is okay working on AI? Because he is working on AI. Apparently he's going to have the best AI. That's what he says. And you can just subscribe to it on X. Okay. So, what do you guys think about that? Is he controlled by the government? That's all I'm asking. Oops, browser share. Okay. All right. I hope you guys are having a good time. We're getting close to Christmas. I hope you guys are going to get nice things, or they give people nice things. All right. Here's how hate speech was originally defined. I guess he was like there for it. So this is an interesting censorship discussion from the meetings at Facebook, I believe.
I think the other thing is, I think just indisputably true that one side went in super hardcore for censorship over the last 15 years. And I think that actually was both damaging to the country, and I think it was also damaging to itself as a movement. Because I think basically, like call it the Democratic Party writ large, or the left, sort of that side of things decided that all dissent, counter argument, objection to their points of view was hate speech, misinformation, and was to be completely dismissed, and then for the people who said those things to be ostracized. And then that form showed up culturally, and then that formed up literally. And
You were in the meeting. What is
I was in the meeting. I was in the meeting. I was in the meeting at Facebook where we defined the terms hate speech and misinformation for the first time.
When was that, and who defined them?
2013, give or take.
Why were they defined, and who defined them?
Let me back up all the way. No social media company can function without having some level of censorship. And the reason is because you're going to have things and, terrorist recruitment, incitement to violence, child pornography. You can't, frauds and scams. You cannot have those things. They're illegal. They're actually not covered under the First Amendment. There's no protection for them. You cannot have them. Your service will fail. It's horrible. And so you're always going to have some censorship function. And these companies all had functions to do that. And then it's like, from there, it's like, okay, hate speech. And then it's like, all right, well, you can't have the N-word, right? And it's like, all right, fair enough. You can't have the N-word. I got it. Right. But then you know what happens. Then it's like straight down the slippery slope. And before you know it, you're censoring the claims that COVID was a lab leak. Like, it's just it's the ring of power. It's a straight slide. And so I was in the meetings at a bunch of these companies, including Facebook, where it's like, okay, we need to define hate speech. We need to define misinformation. Right. And of course, hate speech, of course, gets defined as statements that made people uncomfortable. And of course, the immediate objection is like, well, the concept of hate speech makes me uncomfortable. Well, it's like, well, that doesn't.
Did you say that in the meeting?
Of course. Yes, I did. I said, like, look, obviously this is going to get blown completely out of proportion, because this could now apply to everybody. And so we are now going to empower a commissar class, right, of professional activists who are now going to be able to apply this to fight all their political battles and to vanquish their political. Of course, they're going to do that. And this is the thing. It's just like, in American, the way we experience politics is what everybody feels about their most important political issue is that it's not a political issue. They feel like it's a moral issue, right? And we heard this in these companies all the time, starting around this time, which is this, you don't want any politics at work. Well, this isn't a political issue. This is a moral issue, right? And the minute you have a moral trump card and then the ability to censor people based on the morality, of course, it's going to get used for everything under the sun, including politics. So there was that. And then the misinformation thing was early on was not that big of a deal. And I could tell you where that came from, but it was not that big of a deal. It was really the Russiagate, the Russiagate, whatever you want to call it, conspiracy hoax thing that since got, I think, completely debunked. But it was really this theory that Trump only got elected because he was a Russian asset, and that Putin, as Hillary Clinton put it, and I saw this with my own eyes, Donald Trump is only president because Vladimir Putin hacked Facebook, right? And so basically, nobody would ever vote for Donald Trump out of their own, free will. It therefore had to be literally a Russian misinformation active measures campaign, right? Therefore, you must censor misinformation. And again, it's the ring of power. The minute you have that, you censor everything else. But yeah, no, that actually predated Trump. That all started in like 2013.
There you go. That's another clip from Barry Weiss and the Free Press with Mark Andreessen talking about censorship. Yeah. So that's the news I have for you guys today. Yeah, somebody asked, or Power Justin says, smash that like. Yes, remember to smash the like. Remember to give super chats sometimes. We're on a dry streak. Go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil if you feel like it. If you don't want, and then buy some t-shirts at truthclothing.io. William Birkin says, have I worked with AI recently with my voice? No, not recently, but it's very impressive. I worked with it enough to realize it's awesome. But sometimes it screws up. That's the thing. Sometimes the AI screws up. If you've listened to videos on YouTube, you might think it's a real person until they start mispronouncing things like erratically. So sometimes AI does that. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, voiceover with AI is cool. Yes, people hate Barry Weiss. I understand that. Thanks, Baldo. Buy me a coffee. Okay, got it. All right, cool. We did like an hour. That's cool. Thanks for joining me on this Tuesday evening. Hope you are doing well and getting ready for Christmas. And I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Same as every day. Every day is every day. Around 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. All right. And for now, that's what it is.